This video was produced by
First of all, welcome everyone. My name is Daniel Robinson. I'm the Assistant Director of the Institute of Visual Studies. A lot of familiar faces here, so welcome back. I feel a little weird doing the whole hi, I'm introduction, but I know most of you who I don't know, Daniel Robinson, Assistant Director of IVS. We're at our first colloquium for the fall with Jun Bum Shin on embracing interactivity. Before we begin with his talk, I have some paraphernalia I'd like to pass out. This is one of 3 colloquia. Just pass it down. I'll just hand out a bunch. One of 3 colloquia for the fall. The next one is Dawn McCusker, who happens to be sitting right here. What I'm sure will be a very wonderful talk. Next month, we have another in November, so please keep that on your calendar. Without further ado, Jun Bum Shin comes to us from Purdue University, where he got his MFA and BFA. I read that correctly on the website. He's Assistant Professor of Interactive Media and Graphic Design here at the School of Art and History at JMU. He's exhibited his work in the U.S. and South Korea, as well as won a number of awards for his design work, and we're going to hear about what he does now. So welcome, Jun.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for inviting me. A great opportunity here, and then thank you for coming to my lecture. Okay, so, all right. My name is Jun Bum Shin from South Korea. You just call me Jun, it's fine to me. Okay. If you have any question during my lecture, please let me know. Just stop me by any time. Okay. First of all, here's keywords for my research interest. Progressive, emotional experience, continuous, usability, creative, everything is on here. Maybe interest topics here. First of all, I just want to briefly introduce what is graphic design, because we have graphic design faculty here, only 2 of them, and then others, I don't know. So it's just short video here.
Books and record covers.
Newspaper or a magazine.
Posters.
Exhibitions. Brands.
T-shirts. A website. Packaging. Graphic designers and visual communicators are management consultants. They're not just people that sit in a pub in Hackney and hold up their latest logos.
Graphic design is about communication, and it communicates through the combination of images and words.
If I'm trying to explain to somebody what a graphic designer is, I might often take the easy way out and say, you know, we design like books and record covers and stuff, and often the questions don't go much further than that, so that's fine.
Graphic design has many different facets, like I think any form of architecture.
The job of a graphic designer is to understand the material that they are trying to communicate, whether that be the nature of a company or the content of a book, to understand that material and then make an appropriate and unique design that communicates that content.
We also have responsibility towards the people who will have to live with that communication.
Okay, so this video I'm used to introduce to my Graph 200 for sophomore year. They don't know what's the graphic design, even though they're taking graphic design courses. So yes, just briefly introduce. Sometimes we call it graphic design, but other schools sometimes call it visual communication design, because visually communicate with people is simply, you know, communicate with your package, poster, advertisement, typography, something like that. So briefly a little bit like this: typography, poster, editorial, packaging, identity, web, sometimes interface design, graphic user interface for recently. For this first project is a little bit, a few years ago, this is typical graphic design logo here, kind of stationery applied to here, letterhead and envelope. And then by that time, I thought, okay, what's the previously how you're gonna make the logo? So it's from woodcut for the print. So I made that print, and then it's kind of duplicate by hand. That is kind of digital print, and then scan it, and then you can duplicate easily for that for the next step using Photoshop and other softwares. So, and then how about next the step of that? So I created this one interactive logo here. So basically the theory is woodcut traditional way to graphic design, and then graphics sometimes we can call this digital, and then again, the Photoshop, using Photoshop, and then interaction is kind of contemporary of the graphic design. So in other say that here, semantic objects, synthetic functions, and programmatic relation between system and human, something that three categories here. So in the experimental exhibition, I created woodcut, digital print, and interaction at the same time, because I want to show to the audience three whole group, history of graphic design, something like that, the first, second, and third. Here's theory of the concept sketches. This one is interactive by the light anyway. So projectors here, and then those two are printed, but take 3 is by projector. The lights go to here, and then seems like 3 kind of printed, mounted, the pieces. Yes, so that is photo cell, and then when you stop the light, and then it's gonna be stopped, the graphic here. So communicate with lights. So, and then interactive visions card is here, and then normally we are doing like printed one is nice graphics here, continuity, and then front and back page. And then also is stems. Sometimes they want to make stems, and then they can get a little bit light, dark, something they printed here is kind of interesting steps. And then also we call die cut here. It's like cheese, is kind of interesting. It's fine cheese, brothers or something. And then sometimes, they laser cut on the wood. They just want to make a little bit unique, creative ideas on here. And then I created this interactive visions card here. Basically, it's just simple the graphics here. I programmed by the processing. This is open source anyway. And then I said that here is the fixed area for the designer. User cannot change it because the font typography is really important for the graphic designer. And then for here is the interaction area is controlled by user. So here's video. Basically, you just draw yourself, and then undo for that. And then when you have your graphics, I really like it, and then you can print it out. And then really uniqueness for the graphic visions card here. It's really unique, but at the same time, you cannot make it same graphics anyway, because his hand is really sensitive. Then, okay, I'm gonna get the 1, 2, 3 lines. Yes, you can get it, but you cannot get exactly the same width of the thickness. So, but anyway, I thought that this is really fun, but at the same time, it's unique for the user. And then sometimes they want to get the really, okay, I want to get only one business card or something. But at the same time, it's controlled by designer. So here is something I created. So I brought the examples, the program, so we can do it later on for this. Okay. So coexistence. So recently I'm interested in the social issues here. So this is social conflicts all of the world. So I created this one is only printed based, but I painted this graphics here because it's so many different patterns here and then colors. Because we have so many different some religions or something, the racism, that kind of things complete within our society. So that's why it's duplicated here. It's black and white color. It's different colors. It's kind of mixed. And then here is Korean, but anyway, it's coexistence like that. And then it's Chinese, and then same is kind of all connected here. So here is the poster what I created. So it's different patterns here, but at the same time, it's all connected. So that means we should live together anyway. We cannot divide it. Religious conflict, and then this is stage of second one. So many countries we have this kind of religion conflicts here. So Catholic and then Protestant, Islamic and Jewish, Christian, or how about Islamic? Here is this one is a little bit more experimental kind of symbolic graphics here. So here is basic graphic here, but normally what is that? But I thought it's really well balanced here. So here is the symbols what I created. For example, here is rectangular, it's a little bit abstract, but I thought this one is like Islamic, Jewish symbols here. And then something like that, and then is here Islamic here. And then this is kind of just the printed graphic here. And then I added this circle here, revolution of the globe, the earth. But this pattern is not the stable pattern, is going to be moving around because it's kind of ongoing situation, ongoing circumstances here. So that's why I created that, and then I will show you how it's going to be moving. So here's the definition of my the graphic poster. So continuity and the continuous phenomenon here. Let's see. So here is the exhibition in the faculty show this spring. No, yes. So something like that. So I'll show you this one is not stable. It's moving around right now, and then when you go read your cursor, then it's changed like this. Okay, and then good thing is, if you go read this one is okay. Hold on a second. I need big screen, but okay. So here is the print one. Okay, when I go with here, and then I press S. Hold on a second. Change it at my print one. And then you just print it out for the different patterns. And also, I missed the ID card here. And same thing. Slowly, you can make it. How about 1, 2, 3, 4. I like big here, then you can make it. Click and delete. Okay, so radioactive lane in Japan. Here's global social issue again. So March 11, 2011, Japan earthquake and tsunami, you know that, and then magnitude is 9 is out of 10. It's huge disaster. So tsunami caused a number of unclear accidents. It's kind of level 7 meltdown. There's 3 reactors in the Fukushima, the unclear power plant. And then it's kind of 15,800, 15,800 is died and then injured here, the people. And then after that, many graphic designers made the posters like this. So Save to Japan or Hope in Japan, or don't forget the Japanese, the kind of disaster, and then kind of revolution of the just throw it away, or nuclear kind of the energies or something like that, protest. Here is also...
How do you assess today's situation in Japan?
The latest information that we're getting from the Japanese government is that the levels at the plant are enough to kill a man within 5 hours.
The roof of reactor 4 is now cracked, and reactor 4 is on fire again.
An unprecedented crisis.
Officials are now saying that the flames were actually never fully extinguished. Reactor 4, which has a cracked roof, has been emitting radiation directly into the atmosphere all day.
As Japan marks 1 year since a devastating earthquake and tsunami killed over 19,000 people, devastating an entire nation.
Which is not successful. There's still radiation coming into the sea, into the groundwater, and some being released into the air. So at this point, the government is simply trying...
That video clip is from last year, but still it's a serious problem in Japan. So then I said, I thought it's ongoing nuclear disaster and the radiation is still leaking. And then it's still leaking now. So that's why I said that it's irregular circumstances at the same time. It's by, environmentally and then by human, impact to the human. So then I created for those patterns here. Seems like same patterns, but it's different patterns at here. So here's pattern I created, and then I add to the Japanese flag here. And then the title, the kind of subtitle here. Looks simple graphics here, but the key is the changing for the background. So here is, okay, I'm going to finish with here. Here is the National Geographic 2013, August 21. So it's still, it's really big disaster in here. And then Asia, and Korea and China, they not import to their fishes at all. Also, I think United States is the same thing. But we have really big problems. We cannot eat any fishes right now because of the Japan, for those circumstances. So here is that what I created. So it's unexpected patterns with a background. Of course, you cannot make it, exact same thing because we also unexpected for that happening. So this is the poster background, and then also same thing. You can press any buttons. It's up to you. But anyway, I press the S, and then I can capture this scene, and then easy to create the posters, and then to print it out. So. Recently, I'm interested in the interacting with eyes because I will explain it later on. But ICANN project is not my idea; it's kind of open source's idea. But I want to, I want to import to my research and then to the graphics. So sometimes, people. For people who cannot move their bodies for Lou Gehrig's disease on the rug and symptom. I'll show this one first. So most interactive art, media artists are using by their bodies. But how about here is disease people? They cannot move anything, only can move eyes. So that's why, for example, my business card, they can use that, their eyes, and then they can make it easily. And then this process was really expensive for the eye tracking mouse. It's normally $10,000 for each. But this project, we can make only $50. So I bought it, but it's unfinished. I have a lot of troubles with me right now because I'm not an engineer. So that's why. But anyway, I will show you the video.
골라. 내가 손으로 하는 거보다 난데? 정교하게 잘 움직이는데. 저게 쏘질 않아.
일단은 처음 구현한 게 이제 마우스를 조작할 수 있는 기능. 그래서 클릭, 더블 클릭, 그리고 오른쪽 버튼 클릭, 마우스 드래그, 그리고 마우스 스크롤 같은 이제 저희가 흔히 사용하는 기능들을 구현했고요. 그리고 거기서 더 나아가서 눈의 움직임을 바로 컴퓨터 입력과 해석해주는 그런 기능을 추가했습니다. 예를 들어 우리가 만화를 보고 싶다 하면 이제 그럼 눈을 왼쪽을 보면서 깜빡이면 왼쪽 키가 눌러지고 오른쪽 보면서 깜빡이면 오른쪽 키가 눌러져가지고 정말 아주 간단한 정확도가 필요 없이 아주 간단한 동작만으로도 뭔가 직접 행동을 해서 컨텐츠를 받을 수 있는 그런 쉬운 거 진입을 하기 위한 그런 모듈.
Okay, so yes, still they have a lot of problems in testing, but anyway, it's really good project. And then also I would like to embed into my research, and then also the art So for I don't know, I couldn't find any that kind of disease people in JMU. Maybe somewhere at home they can move it, because they also can go to the gallery, and then if they have glasses, then play with their art. So. So this is materials for that, and then just used kind of web camera, and then IR filter is from camera, film camera, and IR LED, and then easy to make it, but still under research. So then here it looks like, but I don't have PC. I have only Mac, but they only support to the so to the PC. So that's why. Anyway, I have a lot of problems. He knows that. But anyway, I need some research in the font, and I can expand it something like this looking. Okay, so yes, something like this. But anyway, it looks ugly, but it's good. I don't know if we have time. I have another slice. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, thank you. But anyway, I have backup slide here. So Sony Interactive branding, I think Don and Rich, that things here. But anyway, also it's kind of fun project.
Sonic interactive branding is a method of communication that combines our senses. The concept is inspired by synesthesia. I created a new system of sonic interactive branding identities based on correlation between emotions, natural sounds, and various visual elements. With this method, the audience can feel multiple senses at the same time. It creates a better way to communicate between companies and audience in this society. My aim is to take on positive aspect to build a more pleasant society. I was using most recognized branding identities, the Chase Bank and Target, for this conceptual idea. The movement of identity is derived from the regular physiological process and nature tempos with sounds such as breathing, heartbeat, whistling, and footsteps.
Okay, so why I created that kind of weird things? Because at night, logo is always there. We don't know. Sometimes with donuts, what's that? Crispy donuts. They have red lights on it, and then that means kind of we have fresh donuts. And that kind of things, they indicate the logo. But at the same time, at night, we don't need to have logo, kind of bright logos, lights on. And then sometimes we are doing something fast, and then a little bit more movement, not too much, because of in the street, everything is moving around. It's gonna be crazy. But anyway, there are kind of things I interested with. This is Primo, the experimental logo here. You can make only one shape, and then you apply to many lines, and then you can make a bunch of logos. But the logo is like here. This one is the Primo logo anyway, because recently the logo design can apply to everywhere. But it has to be really simple, because complicated, we cannot remember anyway. So really simple, the shape, and then if we have one line, two lines, and then it's a little bit different dimensions here, but anyway. This is kind of logo, but it's not a big deal. But anyway, I created something like lines, and then it's gonna be moving around anyway at the end, but I didn't bring it today. Here is the black and white, and then color version of this logo. Okay, the case studies. So here is the two Starbucks here. Here's distance by logo. And then when you go this here, a little bit far from here, you can recognize any details here. So that system here is kind of sequence of cognition by distance. So kind of far from near, and the circle, or another circle here, black and white, we can recognize here, and then color close to here. And the shape, and the shape details, and then color, shape and color. What is the important thing is gonna be shape here. Shape versus color. Because 1 in 12 people have some sort of color deficiency. It's about 8% men and then 4.4 women. I don't know for the man, but anyway, okay. So I said that here is the logo. It's much more important than the color anyway. So I divided 4 steps here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little, only 1 dimension here, divided 2 dimensions, and then if you have lines, and then you can get more, and then apply to the color. So that's why 4 steps of logo here. Okay. I didn't bring the sensor right now, but in the exhibition, you have here the monitors, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps here. If you go close to the monitor here, then you can get all colors here. If you go to backward here, then you can see only the shape, black and white. The sensor is under here, and then the exhibition is like this. So when you cross there, and then it shows the color logo. Okay, so thank you. Yes.
We have the rest of the time for questions.
Okay. Any questions? Yes.
So several of the things you presented were dynamic.
Yes.
But not interactive, it seems to me. So are you using the 2 words interchangeably, or is there really a difference between something that's changing over time and something that's changing over time in response to the environment?
Something like this one, I have lines of looping logo, and then I created, wait a second. This one is this logo is also looping here, and then I created this connect to the wind sensor. If you go a little bit wind, it goes to the faster, and then it goes to faster. Because of sometimes if I have this graphic inside, and then if you have wind sensor outside, and the wind goes faster, I can see here. That kind of interaction on here. Because I got this one, for example, in the city, I don't know, for example, in the city when I was driving, and then I want to check the wind, wind kind of speed or something, or the temperature of the for outside. Sometimes, yes, if you have really good vehicle, then you have outside temperature, inside temperature. I don't know the wind, the speed. But anyway, if you have those graphics, then it goes really faster. Okay, 50 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, something like that. If the change in logo color and a little bit kind of, okay, Chase Bank was the blue and then goes to the red color and a little bit orange, then we have only 1 hour to close the store or something. But the key is if they are using so many logos like that, it's gonna be disaster. But anyway, they can use the little bit promotion pieces sometimes. Yes, because we don't need to something really crazy technologies. We have too much going on right now. But anyway, I just want to communicate with kind of graphics, brandings, and then how you can embedding to the human or something for the good kind of good communication, not bad communication anyway. Yes, thank you. Yes.
What software were you using?
Tools?
Software application?
Yes, I'm using processing. It's open source, so just type in processing. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
This may be a naive question, and you talked about it just a second ago, but where, you know, graphic design is so client-based often.
Mhm.
You know, if someone wants a logo, how do you determine how much change is too much change versus how much stability lends to a brand identity or whatever?
Mhm.
So like you said, Chase Bank doesn't need necessarily for their logo to be different all the time or whatever, but a new company, say, asks you to design a logo, and there's something like really interesting and interactive.
Mhm.
You know, how do you determine the line between like something that's catchy and
Mhm.
something that serves to identify a brand?
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So that's why previously we saw the 4 steps of logo, and the first one, the shape, is very important to them. So interactivity, we don't need all the time. Something like new companies, they can do promoting pieces, especially for the branding. But at the same time, good logo, what I thought is good logo can be applied to many different ways. Because here is my student here. But anyway, for my students, always said that good graphics can be applied to many different ways. Good logos also can be applied to many different applications. Sometimes, okay, it's same as the clothing. Good is simple clothing. Okay, I can go to school, I can go to the party, I can go to anywhere, fit it, you know. But something I don't know, it's not very good, then doesn't fit into the everywhere. Because my client said that, okay, I only need for the logo my business card. How about letterhead, envelopes? We don't need it. No, you will need that. How about, okay, I'm gonna get the envelopes. How about the signage? How about the other applications? How about the package patterns, you know, the wrapping paper? No, we don't need it. But who knows that you need it or not? So that's why for good design, good design can be applied to many ways. So that's why I have many different kind of the colors, what I showed you before, because it can be applied to many applications. Mm-hmm. Because one business is not, for example, the Coca-Cola has good identity. They have annually they change the packaging, but logo is always there. And then they always use red, sometimes blue, sometimes green for some special seasons. But anyway, they have really specific identity system. So that's why it's easy to apply it anyway. Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. Yes?
Have you worked at all with dynamic typography, particularly the interactive aspects of it? I mean, I've seen non-typographic elements through here. I was just curious if you've worked with.
Yeah, typography is really, it's too much going on here. Sorry. Anyway, so that typography, yes, it's interesting, but I couldn't find any reasons because I'm interested in the advertising or poster design for interactivity because I found it, the poster designs only one time printed, you know, mass products. And then I thought this mass product is not very uniqueness because I couldn't find any authority on there, something like kind of mass production, what's that, the industrial movement. And then they couldn't find any things, you know, is duplicate, Photoshop, easy to make it, duplicate. And then we couldn't find any authority on their work. And then also, how about originality there? That kind of things were in my mind. So that's why, okay, we don't have any kind of copyright issues sometimes at all for that, because one of my friends' business in here or Korea, and then they made characters. They made kind of type designs, and then characters in China, they make it duplicate this tomorrow, and then make bunch of them. You know, if my friend doesn't have money, then she cannot make 1,000, but they can make 1 million and then just sail to over the world. And then we cannot get the money from their copyrights because it's kind of easy to duplicate anyway, you know, advanced programs and then something like that kind of situation. So that's why I'm really interested in kind of unique kind of patterns or continuity, because I showed you before the Japanese poster. Okay, they made in 2011. How about now? It's still ongoing. And then, okay, here is second. I mean, here is 2 years before I made it, and then now it's same poster. But I was presenting here is poster is ongoing process, and then it's continue to, you know, we have problem with that. We have to live together with that kind of situation. It's not the stubborn. But when you print something, okay, here's a good paper, matte paper, I made it, printed it out, and then hang on the wall, that's it. 10 years later, same thing, just change color a little bit, but that's it. Yes. It stopped the kind of circumstances. But anyway, so that's why I'm really interested in something ongoing process, and then the unique patterns, irregulations, something like that kind of things. It was a good question. And then, yes, typography is really important. But anyway, yes, good. Any questions?
I have another one.
Yes,
Right.
that's fine.
Some of the things you showed at the beginning in the history of graphic design area, like the business card that was cut to look like cheese or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, those things I think from a material standpoint are really interesting. And a lot of your work is much more in the virtual or digital kind of arena. And I'm just, I guess my question is if there's a continuum of interactive design, and it's entered into the digital age. So I'm thinking about, like, there's a really great Led Zeppelin album cover that's and so the graphics change and that sort of thing. You know, that kind of material interaction where you have an object and you change it. And it seems like the stuff you're doing is, you know, aside from the social stuff, in that same tradition. Is there any sort of resurgence to go back to the other way, more object-based? We talk about this in photography all the time, the prevalence of digital photography. Because sometimes it's nostalgia, but people are looking for the authenticity that's inherent in a physical photographic object.
Yes.
So is there kind of a resurgence of that? What kind of stuff is happening now in terms of material?
I think that was a really good question. I'm going to go back to my presenting here. So for example, here is the graphic what I created. So of course, we should have really good design, good thoughts of, we should understanding of layouts, typography, and everything. But recently, the interaction designer can be, interactive interaction design can do from, okay, I've got the bachelor degree from kind of user interface. They can do the graphic user interface design or something because they don't have any background for the graphic designer skills. And then they don't understanding color, typography, layouts, and everything. That is really big problems because that's why I'm woodcut or something, duplicate logos, because I was go back to there, and then luck is kind of lucky to me. Fortunately, I learned and then educated from the basic to the little not advanced contemporary design, and then I have new idea here, kind of ongoing. I mean, it's kind of contemporary pieces, and then how I'm gonna use those pieces to my graphic design. That was my research key, because okay, I'm only do the interaction design, then what's happening to me or what's happening to the graphic design is now it's really serious problem in graphic design. And then I've been here too. It's third year, and then first year I was in visiting position here, and then I had many kind of interviews for other schools, and then the question was that only one question was same. How do you think about recent that happening in graphic design? How about interaction design? How about graphic design? What's the important, the traditional way or the contemporary way or something like that? Both are really important. You should understand both, because now that's why my student, okay, I really like to learn web design or something like that, but you should learn the typography, layout, understanding of the space. That was the first, and then you can learn the programs, and then you can become really good web designer rather than only coding based. So I don't know some SMED faculty here or not, and then sometimes I'm in graphic design, the art, so that's why we are better than SMED. Sometimes, yes, of course. Yes, I mean they have better coding and something like business minded, something like that. And then I open to say that what is difference between SMED major and graphic design major to my student. I cannot find any difference between them to you. Sometimes they're good. They have good ability for this programming, but you should understanding of typography more. The layouts more, space more, and then colors more. That means it's really important, the basic of the art, compositions, that first. And then, for example, this one, I said that here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 colors. But I measured here, and they're lined up here, something like here and here. It's not only for the, okay, here is the pattern, I can make this. No, I also think about everything on here, the typography, spacing, or something like that. If don't have anything on here, and then you can just make some patterns, interactivity, yes, it's a really simple coding here. But what is different between them to the designer aspect? So that's why it's both are really important. Of course, in 10 years later in graphic design, I don't know, because recently the graduate from for the young generation, they don't know the traditional way. It's similar to the photography, I think. We should go back to the original, then we can apply to many things. It's same as the mathematics. They cannot solve the problem for so many things without any calculus and basics. But open to say, but normally normal people, they don't know about graphic design. Okay, you just make it logo. Why I have to pay to you, $10,000 only one logo? My daughter can do that. Yes, and but they should understanding of all of the kind of circumstances and then something steps and everything. But anyway, so that's why to my student always, go back to basic, and then you can easy to expand your ideas and then apply embedding to the technology, and then you can survive after graduate. Because if you don't know the basics, yes, you can do everything. You can do it, some WordPress, or for example, web design, WordPress and everything, templates, you can do it. Maybe you can get a good job, and then you can do 5 years, and then 5 years later, then what you're gonna do. So that's why design thinking is really important, because why we are doing design. We should understanding of the society, and or how about economy or business. The graphic design is really related with business. That's why I said that sometimes SMAD students are better than graphic design major, because they really be more close to understanding of the business. Because open to graphic design said that, okay, I'm a designer, it's kind of a little bit more artist based. Art design is different. Art is it's not for the business, but the design is really close to the business. So that's why they should understand their business, something like that. Yes?
I have a question for you as a professor and not as an artist, but just because you were kind of touching on that topic. What do you think, is there any possibility in the future, like maybe even 10 years down the road, that JMU could offer a course that had like some sort of a collaboration between designers in the business school, or else SMAD in the business school, so that we would have a chance to like have a little bit of that client interaction and like learn a bit more about what each other brings to the table?
I mean, that is really good thought, because some schools are doing that. But design business or design management or something like that. But in Europe, they have Helsinki Aalto University. They have really good programs. And then in United States, maybe Pratt Institute, they have design management, but not many schools. But that is really important, because I work with my client, and then they don't have any, designers, artists, most of them is complicated in our major students. So that's why a little bit more understanding of the business, understanding of design it can be really good, because if you go to the design form, you can do design, junior and little bit senior designer can do design. But after that, creative director, they're not gonna design. They do the presentation, to the client. So that's why if you don't have any kind of the idea of the design aspect, you cannot live, you cannot survive for that kind of community. So that's why that is really important. But at the same time, you are the business student, they don't know the design, so that's why the graphic designer should learn a little bit more design, the business and interactivity. Because again, in industrial design, they also involved with interactivity or something, interaction design. So now it's kind of at the middle age, it's kind of chaos right now in interaction design, in industrial design, graphic design. Who's gonna take that interaction design part? And then if interaction, why in industrial designer can involve with? Because all cell phones, 10 years, 5 years before, they always concerned about materials and shapes. Now, they don't have any specific really good shapes, just square. And then everything is inside. 5 years, 10 years before, they designed the buttons. Circle, rounded, I don't know, something really good shapes of materials, interesting. But now everything is inside of the shape. That means it's gonna be fight each other. Industrial designer, graphic designer, who gonna take that part? So that's why we should survive. Some schools have interaction design major, but somehow they should know, because some usability, the human-centered designer cannot do the graphic design. They should understanding of the color, layouts and everything. So that's why they open to work with team from psychology, from sociology, from engineering, designer, and then some industrial designer. But there's two designers, industrial or graphic designer, who are gonna take that place. So I open to to say to my students, you should take that place. Because if you don't know that kind of things, you cannot get a job after graduate. You can get a job right now, but in 10 years, 5 years later, you don't have any jobs with print. I'm so sad, you know? Yes. But anyway, that's why design thinking, it's design thinking, because if you understanding of society and everything, and then you can be part of that group, you know? So that's why we should get our area, graphic design area, into the kind of recent design kind of territory, you know. So anyway, it's a little bit kind of, how can I say? It's same as business, I think. It's so many social kind of networking, or and then they changed their kind of business model and marketing models, because open to have TV commercials, but now everything is in Facebook, Twitter, or something like that. But anyway, we are really close to that kind of things too. So that's why print, we don't need 10,000 printed posters. We just click to post it to the Facebook, that's it. You save money, save energy, go green, why not? You know? But anyway, it's kind of complicated right now. So, yes, still. So that is my another kind of the question to me: how can I teach to the student, and then how can they survive in 5 years or 10 years later? Because I don't want to say that, okay, you just go this one and then get a job, and then how about 5 or 10 years later, then no jobs, then they will blame to me after that. Yes, so, yes.
Any final questions?
Thank you.